Hello everyone, have a nice day. Today I will be discussing to you about CISCO Internetworking operating system. The CISCO iOS is a proprietary kernel that provides routing, switching, internetworking, and telecommunications features. In case you didn't know, a kernel is the basic, indispensable part of an operating system that allocates resources and manages things such as low-level hardware interfaces and security. And also, the first iOS was written by William Yeager in 1986, and it enabled network applications. The CISCO Router iOS software is also responsible for carrying network protocols and functions, connecting high-speed traffic between devices, adding security to control access and stop unauthorized network use, as well as providing scalability for ease of network growth and redundancy. Also supplying network reliability for connecting to network resources. There are 3 ways to configure a router, but most often the first place we would connect to is the console port. The console port is usually an RJ45 8-pin modular connection, and we can also connect to a CISCO router through an auxiliary port, but for that we need a modem. And third way to connect to a CISCO router is in band through the program telnet or secure socket shell. To enter in the CLI or command line interface, there are 3 modes. First is the user mode or user exit mode. So when user access the CLI, first place any user mode. You can configure any command here. This mode is only for some basic monitoring. You have to enter enable command to move next mode, which is the privilege mode. Now you end up with a router prompt, which indicates that you're in privilege mode, where you can both view and change the router's configuration. And you can also go back from privilege mode into user mode by entering disable command as shown here. At this point, you can also type log out from either mode to exit the console. Next mode is global configuration mode. Now, if you type configure terminal command or config-t, it shows like this. At this point, you make changes that affect the router as a whole or globally, which is why it's called global configuration mode. Now, for the router and switch administrative configurations, the most popular and most important administrative functions that you can configure in a router and switch are as follows: host names, banners, passwords, and interface description. For host names, you can set the identity of the router with host name command. To configure the host name, it will also help you confirm that you are indeed configuring the right device. The next is banners. So here you can create a banner to give anyone who shows up on the router exactly the information you want them to have. Banner is usually used to display a warning or a message when you try to log into the controller. MOTD or message of the day is the most extensively used banner. It gives you a message to every person dialing into or connecting to the router via telnet or an auxiliary port or even through a console port, as shown here. Next is setting passwords. So there are 5 passwords that can be used to secure your CISCO routers. First is VTY, which is the console auxiliary in telnet. And next is the enable password and enable secret. So for the enable secret and enable password, these are used to set the password that used to secure privilege mode. Below is the example of setting the enable passwords. Lastly is setting interface descriptions. So the description command is a helpful one because you can, for instance, use it to keep track of circuit numbers. Here's an example. You can also view the description of an interface with either the show running config command or the show interface command. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot. Bye!